Are you fighting creative block? In this video, I'm gonna give you a strategy to combat it. Lace up, strap up if you got the Reeboks, and let's get after it. There are a few things that I try to do on a daily basis, like learn and get some exercise because it's good for the body and it's good for your mind. So I've kind of combined that into a system that also helps you in a creative light. And it's called Run, Read, Create, Meditate. I didn't give it any fancy name because I think that kind of rolls off the tongue. Run, Read, Create, Meditate. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna load this backpack up with whatever equipment that I want to shoot with and a good book. And then once I get out into the field, I'm gonna run as far as I can go, whatever your limits are as far as physical exercise. But for me, it ranges between 1 mile and 10 miles per se. It also, if you're traveling, is a really good way to see new cities. Yeah, you can take public transit, you can take the local like bus tour guide company, but running slows you down to see the intricacies, to see the houses. And in the mornings, forget about it, that's the best time. So I'm gonna load this bag up and then I'm gonna get out there for the first leg of the sequence. Now, if you're not an avid gym rat or a marathon runner, that's okay. This first part, the running part, isn't about showing off your physical ability. What it's about is about priming your mind and also improving your physical ability. So you're getting in shape while you're also getting your brain ready to be creative. There's actually an article that Harvard Medical Health put online, and I'll put the link down below, but it says that exercise boosts your memory and thinking skills both directly and indirectly. You can go for a long walk or you can get out on your bicycle and go for a bike ride. It's not about the type of exercise that you're doing here. It's about getting the body going. So running actually brings oxygen and blood to your brain, so let's put it to use. Usually, I should say first that running I do in one direction. So I'll run out via 1 mile, 2 miles, 30 minutes, whatever my goal is. And then once I get to my farthest point out, I pull out my Kindle. For me, the Kindle has been a game changer traveling because I have an entire library in this size of a product. If you like using books, whatever you want to do, put it in your backpack with your camera and head out. Now, when you pull it out, I typically read for about a half an hour on the way back, but make sure you do it first. If you're like me, reading isn't a form of entertainment, it's more of a chore. My parents didn't read to me as a kid. It wasn't something that I enjoyed doing. I was a super slow reader, still am. So as an adult, trying to read is a chore. I pull it out, I read for about a half an hour and earn my creative time. If I take photos and do the creative process first, then I'm a lot less likely to do the reading after that. And now you've earned it. You've earned the creative portion of this whole process. But think about what you've already done. You've already read, you've already learned something, and you've already exercised for the day. Two huge things for individual growth and self-development. But now that you've gotten to the creative portion, what I do is actually put myself in a box. And I think a lot of creativity happens within boxes. Now, I understand that that's a little bit out of the normal for when you're talking about getting creative and thinking outside of the box, but hear me out. Photography was really tough for me at first because I would walk out and I would look around and I'd say, shoot something cool. Okay, what am I gonna shoot? And I was extremely overwhelmed by that thought. So what I started doing was putting myself into creative boxes. I would shoot specific things. So I filled out this entire list of ways to shoot, of genres or types of photography, you could say, like shadows or specific colors like blue, green, red, or landscape or portrait. And I culminated that list and then I put them into a random word generator. So when I wanted to go shoot photography, I would put a specific lens on my camera so I wasn't changing lenses while I was out there. And then I would have a genre or a type of photography randomly selected for me. So I'd have that lens on and then it would spit out landscape, or like the photos you're about to see, architecture and buildings. And then I would dig into that box and make myself creatively think in a specific direction, which overall helped my creativity and took down the overwhelming feeling of what am I gonna shoot now? Then after you're done shooting, there's one last piece of my creative process that I have trouble explaining, but I'll do my best. Come on. And now for arguably the most important part of my creative process, meditation. Meditation has become a bit of a trigger word for people to get views, to get attention, but I really mean this. And I don't mean like meditate when you're on a run or doing dishes is meditative for you or cooking or playing basketball. I literally mean taking time out of your day to sit down and not do anything else. Allow the mind to really get quiet, and you can use apps like Headspace or Calm. They're really good for this. Or you can walk through my process in a meditation that I've created using other people's structures and designs, you could say. This is the steps to my meditation. It's not what I do every time, but it's something that I've designed for myself that I really like. You start with finding your breath, slow your breathing. You can either do this in complete silence or use some meditative nature sounds in your ears, or whatever sounds you choose, something soothing, something calm. You can use certain frequencies. I won't get in too deep with that, but get something right in your ears. Find your breath, slow down, and just focus on that breath. Focus on your actual breathing, and then focus on your mind and get to the center. In my mind, I picture the center of my brain. That's how I center myself. And then after I get there, I try to quiet the brain and not think. The thoughts will come, especially when you're first doing this. A lot of thoughts will come. And it's about not getting mad at yourself for having those thoughts, but seeing them, recognizing them, and then letting them drift away. The way I do it is I picture myself cutting that thought and kind of pushing it away. Not angry, just in acknowledgement. Just noticing that it's there and not pouring into that thought. Then after I do that for 5-10 minutes, I go to a point where I allow the mind to go, and I allow it to go down those rabbit holes of thoughts that we have every second of the day. And this is where a lot of my most creative thoughts come, because I've stopped everything else and said, okay, brain, I'm following you. And then following that, I'll do my 3 moments of appreciation. I pick something that's happened today or the previous day. If you do it in the morning, something very small, an interaction, sunrise, somebody was nice to you, you noticed something pretty about some lady's hair, like it, just something very minuscule that you might not otherwise have noted. And then I pick something in the last week, anything that comes to mind of appreciation that you're thankful for. And then the third one is letting the mind just go back into your life to whatever time that it chooses and picking that moment of appreciation. It could be from childhood, it could be from when you were a teenager, or when you first got that amazing car that you loved, or a time where your mom recognized that you did something really good and that made you feel good. Like any point in time, your brain will lead you to somewhere, and just follow it. And that's it. After you do those 3 moments of appreciation, then I'm back in the real world. And back into the house or Airbnb or apartment. For me, it's currently an Airbnb. And those are my 4 simple steps of breaking creative block. It happens to all of us, but I think it's really important to get that physical aspect out, to get your brain primed, and to put yourself into creative boxes. I hope that helped you. Again, I'm Ryan Fila. Like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you made it this far. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this, or on travel, self-development, and love in action. Until next time you try to live your dream, I'll see you then. Peace. I'm gonna interrupt real quick to let y'all know that I haven't been getting all these shots alone. My man Matthew came down to help me shoot. We just met today, but this little project is definitely in part by Matty J.
Peace out, guys.